The cockpit was tense, the hum of the engines a low but insistent reminder of what awaited in the skies. Captain Ryan Mitchell had flown every type of aircraft imaginable, but today, staring at his new co-pilot, something felt wrong. The man before him was a single dad, a co-pilot with tired eyes and calloused hands, and Ryan found himself hesitating. He had been trained to trust experience and professionalism, yet he couldn't ignore the skepticism creeping into his thoughts. He refused outright to take off with this man. The tension was electric, palpable, and in that moment the single dad's calm gaze did something unexpected. It didn't waver. Before we move forward, if you believe in kindness, resilience, and second chances, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel Soul Tale. Jack Reynolds, 35, wasn't just a co-pilot. He was a man who had built his entire life around responsibility and love. The past few years had been grueling. Raising his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, alone after his wife's sudden passing, he had learned to juggle every challenge with quiet determination. Night shifts, long training sessions, and the constant battle to prove himself in a male-dominated cockpit had shaped him into someone who never gave up. But today, the prejudice he faced from Captain Ryan struck deeper than any turbulence ever could. Standing in front of the aircraft, watching Ryan's lips tighten and his jaw clench, Jack felt the familiar sting of judgment. But this time, he wasn't backing down. The passenger cabin was slowly filling, a mixture of business travelers and families, unaware of the storm brewing in the cockpit. Lily clutched her small backpack, her wide eyes watching her father with silent admiration. She knew the stakes. She had seen him fight, seen him stumble and rise again. Today, she understood that her dad wasn't just a pilot, he was a hero, and her hero was about to face a trial unlike any other. Ryan's refusal wasn't subtle. He placed his hands firmly on the control panels, refusing to move toward the runway. Jack's heart pounded, not out of fear but determination. He had always believed that action spoke louder than words. Slowly, deliberately, he reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out the aircraft registration papers, holding them firmly in front of Ryan. "I own this aircraft," he said, his voice steady but calm. Ryan's face went pale. The color drained from his cheeks, the confidence that had once radiated from him flickering like a dying light. Ownership. It wasn't just a word, it was a responsibility, a lifetime of sacrifice and trust. Jack wasn't just a co-pilot. He was the man who had poured everything into making this aircraft safe, reliable, and ready to soar. And suddenly, the skepticism that Ryan had clung to so tightly seemed trivial. The runway stretched ahead, silver and unyielding, as Jack and Ryan climbed into the cockpit. Passengers settled in, unaware of the tension that had nearly grounded the flight. Jack glanced at Lily, who waved timidly from her seat, and a surge of resolve coursed through him. He wasn't just flying an aircraft. He was setting an example. Every decision, every maneuver would be proof of his dedication. As the plane lifted off, the city below shrinking into a blur of lights and streets, Ryan's hands relaxed. The turbulence of emotions in the cockpit mirrored the turbulence outside, but slowly, steadily, the storm settled. Jack's experience, his careful hands guiding the controls, demonstrated a level of skill and courage that words could never convey. And as they climbed higher, Ryan realized the man beside him wasn't just competent, he was exceptional. Meanwhile, passengers began to notice something unusual. The calm professionalism of the crew, the subtle reassurance of a man who had faced far greater storms than a mere flight, brought a sense of serenity to the cabin. One passenger, a young woman traveling alone, watched Jack with admiration, whispering to her companion about the courage and dedication she could sense radiating from him. Lily, sitting quietly by the window, rested her head against the seat and whispered a small prayer, her trust in her father absolute. The flight continued, each minute stretching longer than the last, but with each passing second, respect replaced doubt. Ryan's initial resistance transformed into admiration, his earlier prejudice dissolving as he witnessed Jack navigate challenges with patience, skill, and an unwavering sense of responsibility. The man who had once refused to fly with him now shared quiet nods of acknowledgement, a silent understanding passing between them. By the time the aircraft began its descent, the atmosphere in the cabin had shifted completely. Passengers sensed a collective relief, an unspoken gratitude for the man whose hands guided them safely through the skis. The landing was smooth, precise, a testament to Jack's talent and determination. As the wheels touched down, a round of quiet applause erupted from the cabin. Jack allowed himself a small, tired smile, glancing once at Lily, who waved proudly, her eyes shining with love and pride. Near the end of the journey, as the passengers filed out, a hush fell over the terminal. Many had watched silently, absorbing the courage, responsibility, and heart that had flown above them. Jack stepped out, Lily clutching his hand, and for the first time that day, he felt a weight lift, not just the burden of the flight, but the invisible chains of judgment and doubt that had followed him for years. Captain Ryan approached, extending a hand with a genuine, humbled smile. In that moment, unspoken words bridged the divide. Respect had replaced suspicion, and understanding had blossomed from the harshest of beginnings. If this story touched your heart, let it inspire you to value second chances, courage, and quiet acts of heroism. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Soul Tale, and comment below your thoughts on how kindness can transform lives. Imagine being a passenger on that flight, feeling the tension, and witnessing a single dad prove that love, determination, and resilience always soar higher than prejudice. And before you go, take a moment to comment. Have you ever seen someone rise above doubt and fear the way Jack did? Your story might just inspire someone else today.